Tea Cake didn't say anything against it, and Janie herself hurried off. This sickness to her was worse than the storm. As soon as she was well out of sight, Tea Cake got up and dumped the water bucket and washed it clean. Then he struggled to the irrigation pump and filled it again. He was not accusing Janie of malice and design. He was accusing her of carelessness. She ought to realize that water buckets needed washing like everything else. He'd tell her about it good and proper when she got back. What was she thinking about nohow? He found himself very angry about it. He eased the bucket on the table and sat down to rest before taking a drink. Finally, he dipped up a drink. It was so good and cool. Come to think about it, he hadn't had a drink since yesterday. That was what he needed to give him an appetite for his beans. He found himself wanting it very much, so he threw back his head as he rushed the glass to his lips. But the demon was there before him, strangling, killing him quickly. It was a great relief to expel the water from his mouth. He sprawled on the bed again and lay there, shivering, until Janie and the doctor arrived. The white doctor, who had been around so long that he was part of the muck, who told the workmen stories with brawny, sweaty words in them. He came into the house quickly, hat sitting on the left back corner of his head. "Hi there, Tea Cake. What the hell's the matter with you?" "Wished I'd know, Dr. Simmons, but I sure is sick." "Oh, no, Tea Cake. Ain't a thing wrong that a quarter goon dick wouldn't cure. You haven't been getting your right liquor lately, eh?" He slapped Tea Cake lustily across his back, and Tea Cake tried to smile as he was expected to do, but it was hard. The doctor opened up his bag and went to work. "You do look a little peakedy, Tea Cake. You got a temperature and your pulse is kind of off. What you been doing here lately?" "Nothing except working and gaming, little doctor, but look like that water done turned against me." "Water? How do you mean?" "Can't keep it on my stomach at all." "What else?" Janie came around the bed, full of concern. "Doctor, Tea Cake ain't telling you everything like you oughta. We was caught in that hurricane out here, and Tea Cake overstrained himself swimming such a long time and holding me up too and walking all them miles in the storm, and then before he could get his rest, he had to come get me out of the water again and fighting that big old dog, and the dog biting him in the face and everything. I'm expecting him to be sick for now." "Dog bit him, did you say?" "Oh, 'twasn't nothing much, doctor. It was all healed over in 2-3 days, Tea Cake said impatiently. "That been over a month ago nohow. This is something new, doctor. I figured the water yet bad is bound to be. Too many dead folks been in for it to be good to drink for a long time. That's the way I figures it anyhow." "All right, Tea Cake. I'll send you some medicine and tell Janie how to take care of you. Anyhow, I want you in a bed by yourself until you hear from me. Just you keep Janie out of your bed for a while, here. Come on out to the car with me, Janie. I want to send Tea Cake some pills to take right away." Outside, he fumbled in his bag and gave Janie a tiny bottle with a few pellets inside. "Give him one of these every hour to keep him quiet, Janie, and stay out of his way when he gets in one of his fits of gagging and choking." "How you know he's having them, doctor? That's just what I come out here to tell you." "Janie, I'm pretty sure that was a mad dog bit your husband. Too late to get hold of the dog's head, but the symptoms is all there. It's mighty bad that it's gone on so long. Some shots right after it happened would have fixed him right up." "You mean he's liable to die, doctor?" "Sure is. But the worst thing is he's liable to suffer something awful before he goes." "Doctor, I loves him fit to kill. Tell me anything to do and I'll do it." "But the only thing you can do, Janie, is to put him in the county hospital where they can tie him down and look after him." "But he don't like no hospital at all. He think I was tired of doing for him when God knows I ain't. I can't stand the idea of us tying Tea Cake like he was a mad dog." "It almost amounts to that, Janie. He's got almost no chance to pull through, and he's liable to bite somebody else, especially you. and then you'll be in the same fix he's in. It's mighty bad. Can't nothing be done for his case, doctor. I mean, us got plenty of money in the bank in Orlando, doctor. See, can't you do something special to save him? And anything it costs, doctor. I don't care. But please, doctor, do what I can. I'll phone into Palm Beach right away for the serum, which he should have had 3 weeks ago. I'll do all I can to save him, Janie, but it looks too late. People in his condition can't swallow water, you know, and in other ways it's terrible. Janie fooled around outside a while to try and think it wasn't so. If she didn't see the sickness in his face, she could imagine it wasn't really happening. Well, she thought, that big old dog with the hatred in his eyes had killed her after all. She wished she had slipped off that cow tail and drowned then and there and been done. But to kill her through Tea Cake was too much to bear. Tea Cake, the son of evening sun, had to die for loving her. She looked hard at the sky for a long time. Somewhere up there beyond blue ether's bosom sat he. Was he noticing what was going on around here? He must be, because he knew everything. Did he mean to do this thing to Tea Cake and her? It wasn't anything she could fight. She could only ache and wait. Maybe it was some big tease, and when he saw it had gone far enough, he'd give her a sign. She looked hard for something up there to move, for a sign. A star in the daytime, maybe, or the sun to shout, or even a mutter of thunder. Her arms went up in a desperate supplication for a minute. It wasn't exactly pleading. It was asking questions. The sky stayed hard-looking and quiet, so she went inside the house. God would do less than he had in his heart. Tea Cake was lying with his eyes closed, and Janie hoped he was asleep. He wasn't. A great fear had took hold of him. What was this thing that set his brains afire and grabbed at his throat with iron fingers? Where did it come from? And why did it hang around him? He hoped it would stop before Janie noticed anything. He wanted to try to drink water again, but he didn't want her to see him fail. As soon as she got out of the kitchen, he meant to go to the bucket and drink right quick before anything had time to stop him. No need to worry Janie until he couldn't help it. He heard her cleaning out the stove and saw her go out back to empty the ashes. He leaped at the bucket at once, but this time, the sight of the water was enough. He was on the kitchen floor in great agony when she returned. She petted him, soothed him, and got him back to bed. She made up her mind to go see about that medicine from Palm Beach. Maybe she could find somebody to drive over there for it. Feel better now, Tea Cake, baby child? A little. Well, believe I'll rake up the front yard. The Menzies got cane chewings and peanut hulls all over the place. Don't want the doctor to come back here and find it still the same. Don't take too long, Janie. Don't like to be by myself when I'm sick. She ran down the road just as fast as she could. Halfway to town, she met Sopnibottom and Dockery coming towards her. Hello, Janie. How's Tea Cake? Pretty bad off. I'm going to see about medicine for him right now. Doctor told somebody he was sick, so us come to see. Thought something, he never come to work. Y'all sit with him till I get back. He need the company right long in here. She fanned on down the road to town and found Dr. Simmons. Yes, he had had an answer. They didn't have any serum, but they had wired Miami to send it. She needn't worry. It would be there early the next morning, if not before. People didn't fool around in a case like that. No, it wouldn't do for her to hire no car to go after it. Just go home and wait, that was all. When she reached home, the visitors rose to go. When they were alone, Tea Cake wanted to put his head in Jamie's lap.